Hello and welcome to You Can Cook. My name is Lisa Kazarski. I'm a registered and licensed dietitian nutritionist with Operation Better Start through Berkshire Health Systems. Our TV show today, You Can Cook, show highlights young people in the kitchen cooking while showing you how good nutrition can be fun and easy. Today's show is a bit different from our usual You Can Cook show. We're having a You Can Cook-Off today. Before I introduce our students, I do want to talk about our format and how this will work. We're going to have two teams of 2 students per team, and they will be facing off individually. Each group of students has selected a salad and an entree, and they've chosen these recipes, they've practiced them in advance, and they're going to be demonstrating those for you today. We have Team 1, we have Rachel and Serene, and Team 2, we have Taylor and Zach. We also have an esteemed panel of judges, and I'd like to introduce first Chef Rob Buth. Chef Rob, welcome.
Thank you.
Chef Rob is the executive chef partner of Hops and Vines Beer Garden and Brasserie and The Log in Williamstown, and of NoCo Pastoria in North Adams. He was born and raised in Pittsfield and began cooking in his father's restaurants before attending Berkshire Community College and Johnson & Wales University in Providence, Rhode Island.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. Next we have Chef David Slick. He's the head chef at Public Eat and Drink in North Adams. He's a locally inspired chef who enjoys working with the many local and fresh ingredients that the Berkshires has to offer. He was born and raised in North Adams and lived most of his life here in Berkshire County, and has worked at various restaurants also around the county. Most notable, he trained under Chef David Clausen in Vail, Colorado, and during his season with Chef Clausen, he also had the privilege of cooking for our First Lady and her children. So what a privilege to have you as well.
Thank you.
And lastly, we have our dietitian member of our panel. This is Karen Coziera. She's a registered and licensed dietitian, nutritionist with Operation Better Start, and she works with young people and their families to help them bring about lifestyle changes. Karen was born and raised in Pittsfield and has her bachelor's degree in biology from Springfield College, and completed her dietetic internship through Russell Sage, and is now finishing her master's in applied nutrition through Sage Graduate Studies. Thank you for all being here. Thank you, Karen. Okay, now we'd like to get started, chefs, with our first segment. So Team 1, take your spots and we'll get going. Tell us what you're planning to make today.
We're planning to make a quinoa and kale salad with a roasted lemon chicken.
Great.
I'm Rachel, and I'm an 11th grader at PHS, and I'm in the culinary program.
Hi, my name's Serene. I'm a junior at PHS High School, and I'm in the culinary program.
So Rachel, what is your favorite recipe to cook?
It'd probably have to be my mom's homemade chicken parmesan, just because it's fun and it's something that I can relate to with my family.
Good comfort food.
Yeah.
And Serene, how did you get interested in culinary?
So when I was younger, I actually watched my mom and my dad both cook, and my dad actually went to culinary school for culinary. So it's really nice to see them cook, so it made me want to follow in their footsteps.
Great. All right, let's get started.
So we're going to start by dredging our chicken in flour and salt and pepper. We're making our lemon chicken for our kale and quinoa salad. So Rachel's going to start by pouring some olive oil in the pan.
So is this a dish that you've made before?
I've made the salad before, but we haven't. When we practiced, it was kind of the first time making the chicken, and so
Mhm. Do you both like chicken?
yeah.
Yeah. That's
Do
always
you want me
a
to put it in?
crowd
do that.
pleaser.
Mhm.
Should I move over so I don't get a
It's
little
hot.
hot over here? I don't want to be in your way either.
And so you're going to
Alright,
pan.
I'm
You're
gonna
going
put
to
one-
pan sear this. Is there any other way we could do the chicken? Can we do grilled chicken?
You could do
or
grilled chicken. It would
Sure.
work just as well.
with your recipe. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna grab a tongs.
What's your favorite way of cooking? I mean, do you like to saute or grill, or do you have a favorite?
Sauteing everything.
Yeah. Things come out tasty that way.
So we're gonna cook this for like 2 to 3 minutes on each side. And Rachel, when she's done cleaning, is gonna slice some lemons for us.
And what are you going to do with the lemons?
Once we flip this, we're gonna put the lemons on top of it and put it in the oven
Mm-hmm.
for 5 to 10.
All right.
So is that pan going to go right in the oven?
Yeah.
Okay, so it has to be a certain kind of pan to be able to do that, right? Certain kind of pans you can't put in the oven. Is that right, Chef Tom?
Yeah, we want to just make sure you have a all metal pan, not with a
Plastic.
plastic handle. That way we don't melt it in the oven.
How many am I cutting?
4.
And then you're going to roast the lemons in the oven with the chicken.
Yeah.
What does that do to the lemons?
It
Roasting them.
brings out more flavor and makes it more juicy.
Yeah, okay.
So how do you know when you're going to flip that over?
When it's like golden brown on like the bottom side.
Mhm.
And then you flip it 2 to 3 minutes and then you put it in the oven directly.
Perfect.
All right.
So we're gonna go ahead and flip them.
So are you using olive oil in that?
Yes.
Alright, we're gonna go ahead and put the lemons on it.
Nice thing about olive oil, I mean, is it extra virgin you're using?
Yes.
So I have some facts about olive oil, actually. There's master tasters for olive oil. Did you know that?
There is?
Yeah, people that taste it to make sure that it's extra virgin, and they've actually found some to be
No.
frauds out there. So, who knew?
And Rachel's gonna start on our kale and quinoa salad.
Okay. Serene, do you want to help me cut the Swiss chard?
And with your Swiss chard and kale, now you're chard. Can we use the stem on the
You-
chard?
You can.
Uh-huh. What about the kale?
The kale, you usually don't want to use the stem just because it's bitter
A little
and
bitter. Yeah. That's a good idea.
So these are
Let me go wash
two
it inside.
really nice dark greens, aren't they?
yeah, they're nice. I like the flavor combination of both together.
Getting a lot of nutrition from these veggies. This kale is packed with nutrients. Of course, it's a really big popular veggie these days. Do you know it's got vitamin K? Have you ever heard of that one?
I haven't.
No, it's good for our blood. We need it for clotting. So we don't find that in too many foods. Namely, it's mainly in dark green things. Okay, it's of course loaded with vitamin A, which is in our dark leafy veggies. And glad to see them becoming more popular nowadays. It was hard to get people to eat these things in the past.
Just into like bite-sized chunks.
So what do we think, judges, so far? We like the ingredients that we're using?
Oh, definitely.
Fitting our format?
Can I ask why you
So is Swiss chard and kale in particular?
The nutrients and the color combo, it just makes for a very bright salad.
So are you going to leave the stems in for the Swiss chard?
Yes.
The salad?
Yeah.
Now, do you think this is something that kids would eat?
I definitely do, just because with the dressing that we have to make, it gives it a little more flavor. And
That's what it's all about. You just boil these vegetables up. There's a good chance they may not be approved of by a lot of people, not even kids, but but if you flavor them and cook them in a way that enhances them, that makes a difference. That's where you come in,
Yeah.
your expertise.
Do you want to start cutting about maybe, I don't know.
So what do we have for herbs today?
We have parsley, or not parsley, cilantro.
Mm-hmm.
It just gives it a little more oomph and
Yeah.
flavor.
Yeah.
Did you know that Julia Child never wanted to have cilantro? Do you know why?
Why?
Because there's some people that have a gene, a genetic trait that makes cilantro taste soapy.
I did not know that.
In fact, about 10% of all people
That
report
much? Just
tasting
take the leaves off.
a soapy flavor from it, and it's caused by the plant's chemical makeup in your own DNA. Flavor chemists have determined that it's something in it called aldehydes.
Yeah. So I'm gonna start working on the dressing while you do that, okay? So for the dressing, it's just like really simple ingredients. It's just a little, some olive oil, lemon, and then apple cider vinegar.
Oh, that sounds like a nice combo. Some nice flavor.
And what about herbs? You think if we could change it up if we didn't have cilantro or green onions?
You definitely could, depending
Yeah.
on your flavors,
Mhm.
how you like things. So,
So it's flexible recipe.
yeah.
Good.
I like how you pick the cilantro, because I know at home I try cutting my cilantro and I end up with stems in there and stuff, and I think picking it is a simple, easy way to make it. Now, are you going to use this parsley as well?
Was the parsley for us?
No, the parsley is for the chicken.
The parsley is for the chicken. Did we not bring salt? Oh. Yeah.
There was the chicken's in the oven, right?
Yes.
Yeah. How long is that going to take?
Maybe like 5 to 10 minutes.
Depending on the thickness.
Yeah, it has to reach 165 degrees of an internal temperature.
Thank you.
Ah.
No problem.
See, I didn't even think of that. Nice guy.
Always good to have a helping hand.
Nice job. Smells good.
Why would you blend the oil in slowly to the vinaigrette?
So that when you're mixing it, it doesn't just like when it's done, it doesn't separate, and it helps incorporate it and mix them together.
Very nice.
So you're emulsifying it.
Emulsify, that's
Yeah.
right.
And then I'm just gonna add some lemon juice.
So what's next?
We have. Well, you've got the the roasted tomatoes.
So we set that aside.
And then while we're just going to chop some sun-dried tomatoes for a little more color and flavor into the salad.
Those of you at home, remember your chicken needs to get to 165 to be safe. It's always good to have one of those kitchen thermometers. They're just very inexpensive, actually. And that's just how you can be sure that something's done. Okay. Sun-dried tomatoes always give a little zest of flavor, don't they?
They do.
Yeah.
And you can, when you buy them, they have them in olive oil and vinegar. And I like to use ones that are in olive oil just so it doesn't really soak up like the vinegary taste.
Mm-hmm.
And I usually use about like 5 of those maybe.
So what do we have next coming up in our recipe?
Is there anything else I asked on here? I don't believe so. Flip it over and see.
Nope, I'm pretty sure you just have to combine all ingredients.
Oh, the quinoa. Ah, the quinoa.
I thought I'd prompt you a little bit.
Things like that happen.
So we just have a cup of cooked quinoa, and then we're gonna add to the salad.
So you cook that ahead of time. Tell us a
Yes.
little bit about how you cook it. How do you cook quinoa?
It's very easy. What we did was we took 2 cups of quinoa, and then we added 3 cups of water and brought it to a boil, and then once like all the water was absorbed, we took it off and we scooped it and then put it in here to cool.
So it's like rice, just, you know.
It's a quick grain to prepare, isn't it?
It
Yeah,
is.
One of the
it's
oldest
like
grains.
like 15 minutes or so to prepare.
Yeah.
And it's a real nutritious grain. It's pretty popular right now. A lot of people know about it, but if you haven't tried it, great thing to try. It's high in protein, actually, a grain that's got a good amount of protein. As much as a glass of milk. Cup of quinoa, cup of milk, 8 grams protein. So good thing. And also whole grain. It's got a lot of fiber in it. Okay. So we're incorporating that. And quinoa is great because it can be consumed hot or cold.
Yeah.
We're using it cold today, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is it for the salad.
Mhm.
It's not much, and it's really easy and simple and good for you. And
Be great for summer.
yeah.
Great, a great.
Chicken again.
With our chefs, do we use at your restaurants? Do you use any of these ingredients that
Yeah,
the
yeah,
kids
currently
have
do.
chose for
Absolutely.
today?
We, at the Log at Williamstown, we have a sort of a virtual salad bar where we do something quite similar. We have the greens and use a lot of quinoa for lunchtime, so something that's very popular right now.
All right.
Yeah, I actually have a quinoa salad on. I use Swiss chard with my chicken dish, and I use kale in three separate dishes actually.
Great.
So yeah, they're all great ingredients, guys. You picked very healthy ingredients.
Good. You're on the cutting edge. Very good. Nice choice.
So how do you plan to plate this?
We're gonna put the salad down, and then we're going to slice the chicken and then lay
On
it
the
on
bias?
top, on the
Okay.
bias, and lay it on top.
Okay.
So what do you think? Plating pretty important?
It definitely is, because if it looks good, people are gonna want to eat it more, and if it doesn't,
Yeah.
If it looks
Then-
sloppy,
when
then
that plate comes out, the first thing we do, we see it.
Right, we eat with our eyes. In our nose.
And now what are you doing next?
So we're gonna add 5/8 of chicken broth, which is just above the 1/2 level.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to wait for that to boil, and then we add our capers, which Rachel is draining right now.
Okay.
It's
Put it
boiling
right down.
a little
I better
faster than I
move.
thought I was gonna
I
be.
might get
That's all
that
right.
on
So you're going to
too.
reduce the sauce down a little bit,
Okay.
which will intensify the flavor.
So
Yep.
capers
Nice.
are an interesting ingredient, aren't they?
So Rachel got about 1 tablespoon of capers,
Mm-hmm.
and then when this boils, we're gonna add our capers, which is boiling now.
Yeah.
Those add a bit of interest, don't you think, to the dish?
Yeah.
So we have a lot going on. We have a little salty roast,
Yeah.
you know, a little vinegar, a little sweet, roasting the lemons.
Rachel, would you do me a favor and get the parsley out the fridge?
It's all teamwork, isn't it? Cooking.
Yeah.
It's definitely need to have that component too.
And Rachel's gonna cut about a tablespoon of parsley.
Am I taking it off the stems?
Yes.
And that's what you'll finish your sauce with, is
Yeah.
the parsley
And a little butter.
and a little butter. And what's that butter gonna do when you put that in there? What'll help it do?
It's gonna help it like flavor more.
Yeah, flavor and can thicken it a little, emulsify it.
I'm bad at this.
Mm-hmm.
Are you using salted or unsalted butter?
Unsalted butter.
Unsalted. Now, why would you use unsalted butter?
So it just helps like keep the fat down, the calories.
Then you
Oh,
can
yeah.
add what as much salt as, you know,
Yeah.
the recipe needs.
Which is like a pinch.
Sure.
So like taste.
Mm-hmm.
And what about your broth? Does that have salt in it? Your
It has
chicken stock?
Yeah, it has a little bit of salt in it.
Okay.
Yeah, so we can buy low sodium broths, I
Yeah.
think, up there. There's a variety. It's organic broths.
So to keep the sodium content down, you can do that. Lower sodium broth and the butter without salt.
It's skin right there. You can add that to the plate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Actually, no. Give it like a pinch.
Now, what are those ingredients that you're adding?
Salt and pepper. I'm gonna add a little salt and pepper, about a pinch to taste.
Great. It's looking really good.
So pretty important to have all
Very
your
good.
ingredients ready
Yeah.
Smells good.
for the go, huh?
Yes.
I'm gonna reduce this so it's simmering.
So you've added your salt and pepper, you take it down to a simmer,
And,
And
once
then the
that's
last
done,
step?
we add a little butter and then we can serve it.
little butter, and then serve. Great.
That's great. Looks like something quite easy that somebody could put together with, you know, even a younger person at home. Of course, definitely family supervision here, but there's components of this dish you could have, you know, a brother or sister, right?
Yeah.
Somebody younger helping you with pulling off that cilantro or cutting up the greens or even tearing the greens, right? Okay.
Yeah, my little sister loves to help my mom all the time during cooking, so she can kind of follow
There's
my
always
footsteps.
something you can ask for help with,
Yeah.
right? That can involve a younger person at home.
Yeah. I'm gonna add the butter now. So we're just gonna do it until it melts, and then we're ready to serve it.
Mm-hmm. And we're going to serve it sliced on top of the salad.
Yeah. With a little bit of
bias.
lemon.
On the bias. On the bias.
Okay, that's right.
Anything to take the work away from the person that's eating it is nice. So having the chicken already sliced up is nice, especially, you know, just at lunch or at dinner, you know, having that just looks nice on the plate, doesn't it?
Yeah.
When you do that.
And do you guys cook at home?
Yes.
Good.
You know, my mom has a struggle of letting me cook. I'm gonna go ahead and cut it. I need a spatula, please.
I like how that you've got the lemon on top like that. It makes it look really,
Gonna cut
really
it first
nice.
So could we eat the, could
Struggle
we
a little
even
bit.
eat this cold, the chicken? Like a chicken, like a cold salad, yeah?
Could sub another protein
Yeah.
in there if you wanted, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
So you can make a big batch and have it for lunch the next day.
that's right. This salad looks like it serves a lot of people. How many is this supposed to serve?
4.
Did it say on the recipe? Okay.
Great, and that's a big trend now where vegetables on the plate are going to,
Right.
outweigh the protein in a lot of dishes.
This one fell apart a little bit.
It looks cooked perfect. Okay.
And this is
All right.
our kale and quinoa
Nice
salad
job.
with chicken on
Right.
top.
Nice job.
Okay, so we're gonna portion that out for our judges, and so maybe we need some tongs and give our judges each a portion of that so they can taste it.
Now in culinary class, do you also learn service?
We do.
Yeah.
We serve when we're a sophomore and senior.
Mm-hmm.
So juniors do a lot of the cooking. This is your year to do a lot of hands-on, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Alrighty.
So how does it feel watching 3 people about to judge your food? Nerve-wracking? Come on.
Interesting. It has sort of like flashes of chop, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, you know what these guys are like. These guys get reviewed by restaurant reviewers, and so now you know. You get a little feel for it. You'll know what it's like.
Very good. Like the very citrusy.
You're supposed to say, thank you, chef.
We, chef, we.
We chef.
I'm trying to take small bites.
Your chicken is cooked perfectly.
Thank you.
Nice job.
One thing I did notice, and you saved yourself, is your pan was a little too hot when you went in with your sear.
Yeah.
So when you're working with flour, you have a really hot pan like that, your flour is gonna scorch. I noticed there's a lot of smoke coming off. But you saved it, you flipped it, you got it in the oven, and there's no evidence of any kind of burn, and your chicken is cooked perfectly. It's moist. You hit 165 pretty much right on the dot, I believe.
Thank you.
Good job.
How I did it.
So what do we think nutritious?
Nutritionally, it's great because it has all the components of a meal that we want. It has a protein, it has a grain, it has the vegetables. The quinoa is great because of all the things that Lisa said. Did you know why you chose it? Is what I'd like to know.
The first time I made the salad, my mom kind of explained to me what quinoa was, because it was the first time I ever really heard of it, and she told me that it was a really healthy grain for you, and all the backstory of it pretty much.
Okay.
I actually learned from my culinary teacher that quinoa is the oldest grain known to man.
It is an ancient grain.
It is an ancient grain. Okay, and a lot of people know that it's healthier and they're not sure why. And it's exactly what Lisa said. It's because of the protein content and the fiber and a lot of minerals that it has. The only thing is the butter, the unsalted butter, doesn't have less calories or fat. It just has lower sodium. So it has the same, and the other properties are the same. So in the sauce, it's going to react the same. And but everything's delicious. So the sodium content is good, spot on, keeping everything else in check.
Okay.
Good.
Well,
Nice
thank
job.
you. And this concludes segment 1. We'll be right back with segment 2 with our next team 2. Welcome back to You Can Cook. We're doing a culinary segment from the PHS culinary students, and they are doing a You Can Cook-Off together. So we're back, and we're with Team 2, and we've got Zach and Taylor. Welcome back, and we'd like to see what you're going to be making for us today.
Taylor. I'm an 11th grader at PHS, and I'm in the culinary arts program.
And I'm Zach Senical. I'm also a junior in the culinary arts program at Pittsfield High.
So Taylor, what is your favorite memory that involves food?
My favorite memory that involves food would be the past Thanksgiving that I spent for the first time with my stepfamily.
Mm-hmm. And what did you guys make?
We made turkey,
Mhm.
stuffing, and a bunch of pies.
Yeah,
and
pretty
potato.
classic Thanksgiving. Nice, nice. And Zach, do you have a culinary mentor?
I do. When I was a little kid, I used to always go over to my grandmother's house, and we would do ice cream or we would bake cookies, and so that's how I found the passion for culinary.
Great, great. Thank you.
All right, so what we have today for you guys is a Greek-inspired quinoa salad with a pan-seared salmon on top. And I've made this recipe at home. My mom's also made it, and I haven't done the pan-seared salmon on it before, but when we were getting everything ready, we thought it'd be a good thing to put on top, and it's probably one of my favorite recipes that I do, and Taylor agreed that she would do it with me.
All right. So let's get started.
Alrighty.
Okay.
So the first thing we're going to do is we are going
On
to
over.
get our pan-seared salmon going. So we are going to dredge the salmon in flour with a little bit of salt and pepper in it. And then if you want to start working on the spinach for the...
Okay. Here we go with our teamwork, right? Part of a good kitchen is good teamwork. Okay, so do you make salmon much?
No,
No? Do you like salmon?
not really, no.
Not really. That's okay. You can cook for others. You don't have to love the food.
Do you want me to do this whole bag?
No.
How about you? You eat salmon, Taylor?
No.
No? Okay.
About 10 ounces or so, so about a cup and a half.
Why do you think it's a good choice for this recipe?
I thought this was a good choice because I found that it was a great source of protein, and with a Greek-inspired salad, I thought salmon would be a great top.
And what's making your salad Greek-inspired?
We have some fat-free Italian dressing to go on top of it, and we have some feta cheese. We have some pepperoncinis, and we have some Greek olives to put on it. So,
Okay, so some classics from a Greek salad.
yeah.
So why are you dredging, right? Why are you
Yes.
dredging that?
I am doing that because it helps lock in the moisture and juices of the salmon, and it just helps keep everything nice.
Oh, that's great. I never do that with my salmon, so I'll have to start. Maybe I'll have moisture salmon. Okay.
And what about the spinach?
And the spinach
What are
is,
we going to do to prepare that?
everything that is not the salmon is going to go in a bowl, and then we put about half of the salad dressing in with it, and we kind of just toss it together, and it just adds great color to the salad,
Yeah.
so nothing looks the same. It all can look different and everything. So
And then how long would salmon this size take to cook?
to pan sear it, we're gonna make sure it's a nice golden brown on each side, and then we're gonna put it in the oven just like Rachel and Serene did, and then it should come to 140 degrees to just be safe, and it can also be a little bit on the medium rare side.
So fish is different than chicken.
Correct.
Because if we cook fish to 165, the way you do chicken, I think, what would we have a problem with then? If we cook the fish to 165?
We cook the fish to 165, it would be too overcooked, and it would just fall right apart.
Yeah, it would be dry. I don't think anybody would like the salmon like that.
So I'm just gonna stick this right in the oven, and that should be about 5 to 10 minutes in the oven. So we'll finish working on the salad. Do you want to dice up the pepperoncinis for me? I'll work on the cucumbers. Just gonna grab a new cutting board here.
So some of what makes this Mediterranean cuisine, I think you already mentioned these, pepperoncini. That's a common pepper from that area, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Gives it a little zip too, right?
Yes. You could also, if you don't have pepperoncinis, you could buy banana peppers, which is what I used the other night when we made this at home. What my mom used actually in the salad instead of buying pepperoncinis because we just had them in the fridge.
A lot of times in Greek dishes there's cucumber, huh?
Yes. And so I washed these over at PHS because we're
Okay.
not gonna peel them.
And what's another common kind of, how about a seasoning or a spice that's in Greek food? What's common to that culture?
I'm not sure.
Anything? What do you, how about you, Taylor?
I'm not sure as well.
Maybe a
Okay.
little oregano for a
Oregano,
for a
right?
seasoning. We see
Yeah.
oregano, we see dill, a lot of fresh herbs.
I was surprised about dill, that's in Greek cooking, but it is. Are you putting dill in this dish?
We will top the salmon with a little bit of fresh
Oh,
dill.
okay, nice. Okay, so the other things that make up Mediterranean cuisine are the olives, which I believe you said you have in this coming up.
Yes.
Okay, and the beans, right? So that's why it's such a heart-healthy diet.
Yes, and this is also, I love this. I could just eat it alone and I would be satisfied with it.
And it has tomatoes, of course. What
Correct.
Mediterranean cuisine doesn't have tomatoes.
Olives
It's
and beans.
a common
Sure.
ingredient.
And so we were prepping at school, and so we pre-sliced the olives, and then we already drained and washed the black beans as well,
Okay,
just to kind of save us some time.
okay. Now the black beans, they're going to add something to our dish too. Any
Yes,
thoughts
they
on
will.
what that's going to add?
I found that it adds a little bit of, I love the flavor of them in them, which a lot of people say they don't taste like anything, but I also love the texture. When it adds some texture.
And for people who don't like them, they could leave them out, right?
Right, they could leave them out
Okay.
or put them on the side
Right?
if they're having guests over, because this serves about 10 people, this whole recipe.
Oh, okay. Is there a nutritional component that beans add that you want to comment on? What do you think, Taylor?
I think that for nutrition wise that they're like healthy for people and
It definitely helps keep you fuller.
yeah.
Mhm. Okay, that's
What in the
because,
beans- Can you tell me what in the beans make you feel fuller?
The protein.
Yep.
good job.
Nice.
Okay.
Very good. Good marks from the judge.
And fiber too.
And
We'll
so
give that to-
we are doing some fat-free Italian dressing instead of Greek. It's also slightly it's a little bit cheaper than buying Greek dressing.
Uh-huh.
So we thought also of cost to help keep the cost down.
So again, this is a dish that a family could put together and make this giant salad. Another cold, something that is cold, so good for a summer dish to bring with you on a picnic, to the beach, on the boat, whatever. Bring to work for leftovers. It looks like something, Zach, that you could hold for a couple of days. Have you
Yes.
ever done that?
Yes, I
Okay.
actually still have some from the other
Okay.
night sitting in my
So
fridge,
that's
which is
nice
still-
too, because you got leftovers a couple of
Yeah,
days worth
and
of meals.
I also
right?
would recommend if you do make this at home to make sure that you add a little bit more dressing because the quinoa soaks up a good majority of the dressing since it's pre-dressed.
So we have the quinoa. Is that regular quinoa?
Yes, it's just white
White quinoa.
quinoa.
Okay.
So the salmon needs a little bit longer.
Do you want me to mix it?
Just hang on. We just need to add
Oh.
about half of this.
Now, did you make that dressing?
We make it this is one of ours from our culinary arts program, and we do make that in our restaurant. But you could also go out and just buy like one if you don't want to make it.
So how do you make a fat-free dressing? What's the main ingredient in that?
With Italian dressing, we learned that it has a very higher salt content. So we made sure that it had very low sodium. We use our blended oil instead of that's our salad oil that we put in our Italian and our house dressing, which was a balsamic vinaigrette at school. So we put those together, and then we add just some of our like dried spices and everything to make
Okay.
our Italian dressing.
Oh,
at
okay.
school,
Does it have
so-
oil in it?
It does. It has
Okay.
the blended oil. That's the only thing.
Oh, I
that
see.
we-
So then it would be a low-fat dressing?
Correct.
Right? Okay. So you just want to clarify that for the viewers. Okay, so you combined everything here.
We combined everything,
All
and
right.
so do you want to
Looks
start
great.
plating?
I love the colors. See those beautiful green and two different colors of green and black from the olives and the black beans. And of course our feta cheese is in there. Again, people can leave that out if they're not really big feta fans. And maybe put a different cheese in, right?
Sure.
Wouldn't be
Right.
as Greeky, but could still do that. I like that some things can be, adjusted to a family's
I think
preferences.
this recipe is great. We can possibly change up the greens if spinach wasn't a favorite, and the protein.
Done.
Have you ever done it, Zach, with different greens?
I have not. No.
Okay.
So our salmon is done, and we'll just add that to the top when it's ready. And so instead of having our whole salad spread out on the plate right now, we're just going to kind of pile it up, and we'll let the salmon have the salad under it fall.
So that'll wilt under the heat of the
Correct.
salmon. Great.
Oh, I see.
So instead of just
great
having
idea.
it fully spread out, we'll have it more piled higher, and then the salmon will just help let it.
Oh, all right. That's
So it makes a nice
interesting.
presentation.
Correct. Because once you add the salmon, it could go off to the edges, and we're trying to keep everything in the middle.
This
Give
is
me a
looking
towel so
really
I can
good.
wipe it.
Yep.
Now, what are some of your favorite things to eat? Other than this recipe.
I was going to say, this is one of my favorites.
We already know that.
Um,
What else?
Like Serene also said, I enjoy one of my mom's meatloafs. It's a sweet chili sauce meatloaf.
Oh,
And
sounds great.
it's one of my favorites at home. And the salad, and we do a couple more recipes, but at the moment I can't think of them off the top of my head.
A lot of pressure. It's all right.
My favorite recipe would be probably my stepmom's chicken Alfredo.
Do you make it too?
Yeah. I'll grab the dough.
There's the dish.
And
There's our
we'll
dish.
top it with a
Except
little
you're
bit of
just going to put a little bit of the dill on there.
I have a couple right here, Taylor.
Alright.
Looks great.
Looks
Looks
great. Okay. So our chefs are eagerly waiting for a chance to taste this one.
Take all of them.
And it's part of the Mediterranean diet because they have a lot of fish in their diet, and one of the big things is the omega-3s in it, which help reduce inflammation and lower triglycerides. So a lot of people with heart or cardiac problems, they say to increase your omega-3s, which most Americans are deficient in. So now you know that salmon's a really good option for that, and it's low fat, low cholesterol, high protein.
I hear my way.
It was a good choice.
Now, do you guys hope to work in a restaurant or
I do.
hotel or own your own someday?
My friend Jesse and I, we both really love the baking aspect of culinary, and so her and I have talked before, and we would love to do like a pastry place, because she also loves baking just like I do, and so we were thinking do that together.
Take that to your piece of salmon.
Preference as well, Taylor?
Okay.
It's okay.
I'd say baking. Like, eventually, like, go into baking and, like, have my own, like, baking parlor.
Great.
Yeah.
Inspiration.
You guys think you go off to culinary school?
I am thinking just start out at BCC and try out their culinary program. And we've done a couple of the BCC dinners with our culinary class, and I really enjoy it.
Great.
So I'm hoping to go there after high school.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
What about you, Taylor? What do you think?
Not sure yet.
Yeah. You got
But-
time.
Yeah.
Plenty of time.
Give me the towel. No, wipe the.
All right, nice looking dishes.
Thank you.
Now the moment of truth.
There we go. Exciting part.
Oops.
Thank you.
Welcome. Reach.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Very much.
Now this kind of salmon, this is a Atlantic salmon, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And do you know if it's fresh or farm raised?
I know that it is fresh. We went and bought it at one of the local grocery stores, but it is fresh salmon.
I had to ask.
Sounds very good along with the salmon. It's got a nice texture. Like, yeah, we only have the crunchy cucumbers with the lettuces and the soft salmon. So
It looks like you got a lot of textures going on in there, which is great.
You do.
I love the colors. They work really well together, and the fact that you added some dairy in there, so it has more food groups. The cheese in there works really well.
All of the ingredients you chose play well together. Very, very well together.
Thank you.
And as far as the nutritional aspect of it, you know, it is very healthy. You know, aside from, you know, the cheese maybe, you know, it was probably a little high sodium in the cheese, and also with the olives, but you could buy low sodium olives and
Right.
cheese as well.
Yeah.
So that definitely helps. And the other thing you know, I noticed is you did dredge it in flour. You don't have to dredge it in flour when you pan sear. You can still lock that flavor inside that salmon with a good hard pan sear in oil as well. So that's another option for you if you're also cooking for you know, nutritional value. Yeah.
I think along with the flour also, especially in the restaurant, nowadays with the amount of gluten-free people, I think keeping the flour off would, I think, help your customers out a little more.
Right.
It appeals to the masses a lot more, definitely, when something is gluten-free.
Did you guys know that quinoa is a gluten-free grain?
I did, yes.
So that, I mean, if you were to leave the flour out, the whole dish would be considered gluten-free. So that would be really appealing to more people.
Very good, guys.
Yeah, great. Thank you.
Good job.
All right, well, that concludes our segment 2, and our chefs will now, our judges now will have a chance to discuss what they tasted from Team 1 and Team 2, and we'll be back. We're back with the UCAN Cook-Off with the PHS culinary students. Our judges are deliberating in the back room, deciding which team, Team 1 or Team 2, is our winner today. So we thought, Chef Tom and I thought we'd just chat with the teams ahead here in the back and see what you guys think about how things went.
What do you think?
I think it went pretty well for both our teams. We both worked together, like me and Serene and Zach and Taylor did.
Nervous at all?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Before I started.
Yeah.
yeah.
And then ease into it a little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the most nerve-wracking part is when the camera first starts, you're like, And then once you get into it,
Yeah.
you
Then I got a little bit nervous again
Ease
when the
off.
judges were judging the food.
Yeah.
How about your dishes? What did you think? Did they come out the way that you wanted them to?
yes.
Were you happy with your dish?
Yes.
Yeah, you all were. Okay. Is there anything you would have changed?
remember the quinoa?
Yeah. Remember the quinoa?
Yeah, you got it on there. That's what counts.
Yeah. What did you
Great.
think, Chef Tom?
I think everyone did a great job. You guys knew your recipes. You obviously have made them, and you had your timing down, your temperatures, which everything looked great. Your presentation was great. And now it's up to the judges.
For the judges to decide. So, and you know, it's good. You had to think about a little bit about nutrition
Right.
with your dishes, so that made it a little bit different,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, and learn a
But-
little bit, some new things.
Yeah.
I think today on the nutrition aspect of the foods.
Yeah, nobody really thinks about nutrition when they're cooking, unless
Yeah.
they're like,
Yeah. Yeah, but I think as chefs, you have to. People are,
yeah.
More and
are more
more.
knowledgeable. Your
Right.
customers, they know good food, healthy food. So as you move up, that's something you're going to have to concentrate on and study and know how to serve
Right.
nutritious and good food.
Yeah.
And I think you guys are on your way. Did a nice job.
Thank you.
That's great. So, is this an experience you do again if you had a chance?
I
We
would,
actually,
yes.
like we actually have our own little, our PHS Culinary does their own little show-ish.
Uh-huh.
So very little used to. We've all been in one so far.
Now, do you have competitions within the PHS culinary department with each other?
Every once in a while, like on a half day or something, we'll do like a cupcake war, and so we'll split into like 4 different teams or 2 different teams, and we'll just make the same cupcakes, but then we'll see whose presentation was better. Or
Haven't done that yet. I'm still
not
waiting.
yet.
We're waiting.
Come on, Mr. Buckley.
Waiting for the half day. That's a great idea. So we know a little bit more what goes on behind the scenes at PHS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what culinary unit are you on now?
We're
school, what are
in
you
like
doing?
the cooking unit, if
Yeah.
that's what you want to call it. We cook the food. Yeah, we're doing Pro Start. We did Serve Safe.
And got Serve Safe certified a couple months ago. Well, a month
Great.
ago.
That's good to
Yeah,
have. You
midterm.
have to have it.
Our midterm was being our Serve Safe test.
Uh-huh.
And then right now we took a pause on OSHA 10, but we're gonna do OSHA 10 training. We had one new student, so we needed to get her a number, and then Serene didn't have a number to log in, so
Yep.
we're gonna start that pretty soon. And then we have our Pro Start, and then we go through like 2-week rotations in the program. So,
So like
right-
we switch every 2 weeks.
Right now, I'm making the bread. We do a bread every day with our special, and everyone here is on a 2-week rotation. So
Within the kitchen?
Yeah.
To what
So-
you're going to be
Yeah.
making?
We have the steward, we have bake shop, we have dining room, sandwich unit, which is like the grill, and then the everyday sandwich.
the grill, and then like our clubs, and
Yeah, and then
Who do you feed?
Teachers and public, but a lot of the public doesn't really know that we're
Yeah,
open
so-
to them.
Mm-hmm.
So
we did
Students
make a
are
Facebook
allowed.
page, but
quick.
Yeah.
Students are allowed once they get their
diploma.
once they
Diploma.
graduate and we can hand the teachers a diploma, we're allowed to come in.
yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Great.
But you got a lot of the faculty then?
We do
right?
have a lot of the
Okay.
faculty, and then our family is also more than welcome to come. And then anyone from the public is welcome.
Just in that side door, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, it's a pretty good advertisement here then for the public
Yeah,
today.
yeah. There you go.
All right.
All right. Well, thanks for chatting with us.
Yeah.
It was great working with you all today.
Thank you for
Thank
having
you.
us.
Good luck to all of you. Our judges have returned and they have a decision and they want to say a few words about their judging process.
Okay, all of you did great, and each dish was both delicious and they had really good nutritional value. So, team 1, we really liked the fact that you made your dressing from scratch. It was a really light dish. The chicken was cooked perfectly, and we liked that you had a good background of your nutritional knowledge. It seemed like you knew what you were talking about. Team 2, you had great color and texture in your dish. You had a great flow in the kitchen. It seemed like you'd organized and planned. I like the fact that you had more food groups in there. It was a really well-rounded dish. Now, the judging process was hard, and it was very close. You guys are off by 1 point.
Oh my God. Wow.
1 point. But
So-
overall, the winning team is Team 2.
So for Team 2, here is certificates acknowledging that you are the winners of our cook-off today. And additionally, we will provide the runners-up, Team 1, with a certificate acknowledging your effort and how close. It could have gone either way. We also wanted to provide each student on both teams with a chef jacket and a knife roll as a token of our appreciation. Keep in mind that all of these young chefs provided their volunteered their time to do this. They practiced, they chose their own recipes, planned their menu. I'm doing this all kind of backwards. They planned their menu, chose their recipes, practiced actually on their own time as well. So we'd like to recognize you all and thank you for participating here. And you get your knife roll as well. So you're on your way to a great culinary career. In addition, we'd like to thank our judge panel for joining us and being part of this this show.
Thank you, chefs.
And thank you to our culinary instructors at PHS, Brian Buckley and Todd Eddy, and my co-host, Chef Tom. Well, please join us another day for our You Can Cook show.